Tuning into today's video, we're going to do the weekend forecast today, have a detailed look at weather for the next 7 days. We're also going to have a bit of a taste of spring in the coming week, with temperatures lifting up into the mid-teens potentially by Tuesday and Wednesday, so getting really quite mild indeed, and certainly feeling a lot warmer than we've been used to for the last few weeks and months. Will turn increasingly unsettled though, with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, eventually bringing us all some rain, so quite an interesting week coming up. Now, if I go on video, just want to mention the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad overlaying my weather videos at GavsWeatherBiz.com. Please play us videos, you'll be supporting GavsWeatherBiz.com by doing that. And websites I'm using for this forecast are coming from weathercentral.de and theweatheroutlook.com. You can find both of those websites on my links page. So this is the chart for today. High pressure sitting over the top of the British Isles. There's a lot of cloud in the south trapped underneath that high pressure, but we are seeing sunny spells developing across much of northern England down in towards Wales, and that sunshine will push further southwards through the course of the day, so brighten up through the Midlands, much of East Anglia, eventually coming down into some parts of England. There should be a little bit of brightness before it goes dark. Western parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland, North West England will keep rather a lot of cloud though through the course of today. Temperatures up to around 8, 9, 10 degrees, 10 is 50 Fahrenheit, doesn't feel too bad, although under the cloud in the south it does feel rather chilly, with temperatures there just stuck at 5 or 6 degrees. Now overnight we're going to find that cloud continuing to break up really across much of England and Wales, so I think we will have a frost developing across England and Wales tonight under clear skies. Temperatures could get as low as -1, -2 degrees, but for Scotland and northeastern England we'll actually bring a weather front down into that high pressure, so it'll start to cloud over up in the north, and temperatures up there will hold up a good deal higher at around 4 or 5 degrees, so a reasonably mild night in the north, but quite a cold night with a frost down in the south. Moving into Sunday, that high pressure is still there, dominating the weather really across the country, beginning to show signs of starting to slip in towards the continent, and that's just the signs of picking up that southerly wind that's going to bring the taste of spring early next week. But for Sunday, I think we do have a lot more cloud really underneath that high pressure. There'll be a frosty and bright start across some central, southern and southwestern parts of England and Wales, but we are bringing cloud down into the high pressure again from the north, so a lot of cloud around on Sunday with limited bright or sunny spells, though northern and eastern parts of the country will tend to brighten up, I think, as the day wears along. Temperatures on Sunday, well, around 8, 9, 10 degrees again, so reasonably mild really, although in the south it will be a cold start, of course, with that frost. Now, going into Monday, then the high pressure is really starting to slip away to the east. Low pressure is developing out in the Atlantic, and we're beginning to pull up this southerly to southeasterly wind. This will bring drier air across the country and also warmer air. I think we'll tend to start off on quite a cloudy note on Monday morning, but it should turn brighter as the day wears on, and certainly in the south and the southeast I think we will see some bright or sunny spells developing quite widely through the course of the day as that southerly wind begins to bring that drier air in from the south. Temperatures will be higher on Monday, up to around 11 or 12 degrees, perhaps in some places, particularly in the sunshine, so 12 is 54 Fahrenheit, and feeling really very pleasant indeed. Always cloudier in the north and the west of the country, but certainly in the south and the east I think we will see the clouds breaking up to reveal some sunshine. Now, as we move into Tuesday, it's a very similar sort of situation again. The low pressure is in the Atlantic, the high pressure is over to the east of Europe now, and we are bringing in again this southerly to southeasterly flow. We could bring a weather front with a little bit of cloud and patchy rain into Ireland and the very far southwest of England on Tuesday, but the rest of the country should be mainly dry with good sunny spells developing through the course of the day. Maybe some mist and fog patches around early in the morning. They could be quite dense actually, but they should go quite quickly to reveal that spring sunshine. It will be a mild day, a very mild day, with temperatures perhaps up to 14, maybe 15 degrees if you get some decent sunshine in the east and the southeast. 15 is 59 Fahrenheit. It really will feel very pleasant, and generally we're going to be in double figures anyway on Tuesday, 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s in many places, so a really very nice day indeed. Now, as we go through into Wednesday, things start to change then with this low pressure beginning to move towards us, pushing weather systems in off the Atlantic. It'll be another very mild day. A taste of spring is still in the air on Wednesday. Many central eastern parts of the country will be mainly dry with good sunny spells once again. But in the west, it will turn cloudier after a sunny start. And I think we'll find rain coming into much of Ireland, Wales, southwestern England, turning wet through the course of the day. Temperatures again up to 13, 14 degrees quite widely, possibly in the east up to 15, maybe even at the outside 16 degrees. 16 is the number that turn around to 61 Fahrenheit. But this is probably the last day of being very mildest of the weather, because as we move through into Thursday, then the low pressure with some uncertainty is beginning to take over the pattern. So I think we will find an increasingly unsettled trending towards the latter stages of the week, but it's difficult to say quite how this works out really. But I think we will find some quite heavy rain in the west on Thursday. Many eastern areas still largely dry, but that rain will push eastwards through the course of the day, probably turning light and patch as it gets through into the east. But it's difficult to be certain really about how things start to break down then as we go into the end of the week. But the low pressure is still being maintained really to the west of the country. We're still really maintaining a southerly wind as we go out towards Friday. So even by Friday it'll still be quite mild, not as mild as the earlier part of the week, Tuesday and Wednesday, but even so temperatures will still be up to around 10, 11, 12 degrees, still doing very good for the time of year. But as I say, it's an increasingly unsettled trend really towards the end of the week, with maybe another bout of heavy rain coming into Ireland, Wales, southwest England by the time we get through to Friday. But it's difficult to say how far eastwards and how active that rain is going to be once it gets into eastern parts of the country. So it's one to keep an eye on. It could turn quite wet towards the end of the week, but it's uncertain as we go into the weekend. Then the stretches with the low pressure really is starting to take over the pattern, and we're starting to push that southerly away towards the east of the British Isles. So we're starting to cut off the southerly flow by next weekend. So temperatures probably dipping back towards the seasonal average, which is around 8 or 9 degrees. But even then, it's difficult to say how far eastwards the rain is getting, but potentially it could turn quite wet, I think, as we go towards the end of the week, but I can't be all that certain about it just at the moment. These are the charts from the Weather Outlook, and well, this is showing a lot of sunshine across the country today. Actually, it's a much cloudier scene across southern parts of the country than this is indicating. But that sunshine is coming down across the country through the course of the day. The cloud is thinning and breaking, and it will continue to do so. It will lead to a cold night though across much of England and Wales tonight. For Sunday, well again, it's showing good sunny spells. I think we'll bring more cloud into that high pressure again on Sunday. And then as we move through into Monday and into Tuesday, we see that warming trend in evidence. This is showing temperatures by Tuesday up to 12 degrees. I think could increase that a little bit more, probably up to 14, maybe 15 degrees. And certainly by the time we get through to Wednesday, we are looking at a very mild scene across many parts of the country, although the suggestion is that we do start to bring that rain into the west and the southwest through Wednesday. And then through towards Thursday and Friday, it's increasingly unsettled with low pressure taking over, bringing us some rain, but it's hard to be certain about it. So that's it in summary. It looks like we're going to see a taste of spring this week. Temperatures are going to be lifting up a good few degrees across the country. Quite a chilly sort of weekend really. There's going to be frost across England and Wales tonight. Temperatures are around the seasonal average by day, but from Monday onwards those temperatures do start to lift up with a taste of spring. A very nice spell through Monday and Tuesday, then turning gradually and increasingly unsettled as we go from Wednesday onwards through to the end of the week and the weekend, when it could really turn very unsettling indeed by the weekend. Those temperatures will start to dip back day by day, ending up nearer the seasonal average. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.